deep dive in Web3, because I believe that is going to be the future of basically everything. So technology is very disruptive. It's changing the way we think, changing the way we interact, changing the way we consume products, exchange information among each other. So you see that like many companies, many private companies, what they're doing is they're developing their capabilities. They're investing a lot in innovation, and this starts with at an individual level. I must say, because most of the times when you don't have people who are ready, in the end you have to form them in how these technologies are developing, for example, right? And so, like for me, it was the natural way to progress into this, because I used to, as I said, like work for the most like private part of finance, and now I was seeing, I started to develop an interest in say how technology was affecting the financial industry. So that is fintech. Then I was doing some PR and some communication support for companies in technology as well. So like tech startups. I do have a startup myself as well. It is in the question industry. So it is an e-commerce. So it's an equestrian clothing brand. And slowly but surely, we started introducing technology to it. So we're working in a very ambitious project that is wearable technology for the riders in order to correct their position.
Wow, yeah, and I think that that's really good that you have that, whole rounded kind of experience of, obviously, I know when we were in London, you were like obviously studying your master's, you were at King's College, and then got into that finance, into Web3. And I remember back a couple of years ago when we were surfing, you were telling me about your brand, and I remember we were at this dinner after surfing, and I was like, this girl's gonna be successful. I remember you were like, you had your pitch, and I was like, and you were telling me about your blitz, and obviously it's gone into your equestrian and things that you're doing and constantly innovating with it. So yeah, tell me a little bit more about how you're bringing tech into that as well, into your startup.
Right. So like in terms of like my personal journey, I must say, like I saw myself working for an international organization. Say I thought about the United Nations growing up. I thought about the European Commission, European Parliament, and I really believed in international organizations as in having a bit of a weight in shaping how the world would be. Like it would be a better place. But then slowly you like things start falling into place, and you see that at an individual level, you do have like more of a power to actually talk to people, have an impact on like people's lives, rather than like trying to be a cog in a machine that you don't really know like how much of an impact you're gonna have. And so my heart like still beats for, say, international development. I'd like to make an impact. I'd like to leave behind a better world if that is possible, obviously, because in the end, in 80 years we're gonna be gone, right? Like, and I mean, like what you're leaving behind, this also is a bit of a legacy, but it's a legacy for the future generations to come. And that's when I started developing a bit of an interest in like how technology is shaping the world. When you see nowadays like everyone using, say, ChatGPT or like any other like technological advancements, you're like, wow, like this is amazing. This has a huge potential, but at the same time, there's advantages and disadvantages to everything, right? So technology as a tool, it has to be used carefully. It has to be used ethically as well. And I think that, like, yes, as it is, it has tremendous potential. But I also think that it should be like taught in classrooms, like how people can make a better use, especially when they're growing up, because your say like your identity isn't formed yet, right? So like it is very hard to say what sort of choice am I going to make? Am I going to contribute to just a part of, say, like what people are saying online? Am I contributing to a polarized society, or am I trying to think critically about like how you can basically help the world, really? So yeah, that's like the bigger scheme of things, so to say. But
and I really think
go on.
Oh no, I really think that it was interesting that you were saying similar to you, I've had that humanity kind of side of it, wanting to kind of help change the world. And like through tech now, I feel like what you said is, with the changes is how do you still keep the humanity within